meditations that can send you into a state of, it's like, if you can find, and there's loads of it on YouTube, and actually I am creating tracks now myself which have this, but that binaural beats that take you into a theta state within yourself, but going into a deep state of meditation where you then listen to a guided meditation which has positive affirmations. And actually, this is a really useful tip for you all right now, and it's very powerful if you go and do it. You can create your own. Once you've done your journaling and you've figured out what the thought patterns are that are blocking you. So I've been talking about my experience wanting to sing many, many years ago. So let's use that as an example, and then you can apply that to relationships or money or health or whatever. But let's just say one of the thoughts that I had about my singing was that I had no talent. That was, what I had. That was the message I had. Actually, in my case, I was the daughter of a very famous musician. And so compared to him and the lack of support I had received in my childhood, the message I had internalized was that I'm no good as a singer. I am not talented, which was so untrue. But that was what I believed. But by writing it down, you get to see it. So like, I'm no good at relationships might be one that you're carrying. If you've come here today, particularly to find out about improving your self-confidence in relationships, that's probably one of the ones that you have. So you're going to have to change that to say that you are good at relationships. And I can already feel through the airwaves that you're all thinking, well, what's the point of me changing that thought and lying if it's not true that I'm just not good at relationships? We're talking about a continuum here. It's not black and white. It's not like, completely, absolutely rubbish in every single way, because you wouldn't be alive if you weren't able to have a relationship, even with the person that when you go into a shop and buy some food, you have to have a relationship sometimes in the supermarket if you're paying, or whatever you're doing in your life, you're going to be in contact with people and you're going to have relationships at some point or other. So you do know how to have relationships. So therefore, you can extrapolate from that. Actually, I am able to have relationships and I'm able to improve my relationships. And actually, I am a good person. And that's quite often right at the bottom of it, is that we think that we're not good people. We think that we're bad. We're a bad person. That's the self-worth thing. Okay. So what you do is you get these thought patterns. I am not a good person. And you put on some really great music, meditation music. You put it on in your room, your house, whatever. And you take your phone and you record. The music's in the background, and you can be probably better at IT, some of you, than me, so you can figure out a way to do this even better. But if the simplest level, you've got the nice music going on, and then you put the dictation mode on your phone, and you just say, I'm a good person. And you leave a space so that when you're listening to this later, you'll be able to say, I'm a good person. And you say something like, I really love you, and you say your name. And then you say something like, I am good at relationships. And you can do this in the first person, the second person, and the third person. So every affirmation, actually, you could do in three. So I am a good person. And then you say, you are, in the second person, you are a good person. You say your name. Then you leave a space. And so that when you're listening back to this, you're able to say it. And then you put it in the third person as if somebody else was saying it. Lorraine is a good person. You say your name. So-and-so is, as if it was somebody else speaking about you. And you leave a space so that you can then, now I did this once. Wow. I created a whole, it was in the days of cassettes. That puts me in a time bracket. I am racing to keep up with all of you in terms of the IT and everything else. My gosh, learning all sorts of new things. That's one of my big challenges at the moment. Anyway, so I did this and I played this cassette back to myself daily. And I tell you what, my whole life changed. My whole life changed. I met somebody and I moved house. I moved to a completely new area. And those were the two things that were the biggest issues for me at the time, that I wanted to meet somebody and I also wanted to move house. So it's very, very powerful, especially if you really manage to identify what the exact negative messages and thoughts are that are holding you back. And that is why sometimes, as I've already said, you may want to have somebody like me on your team so that, we're able to help you get these, to isolate exactly, bring to the surface exactly what those subconscious negative limiting self-beliefs are.